getting late. Julie. That's right, don't you pay her no mind. She's coming at you again. Let's run. I ain't scared of her.
I got one more thing to say to you, young woman. If you ever so much as poke your nose in my carousel again, you'll be thrown out. Right out on your little pink behind.
You got no call to talk to her like that. She ain't doing you no harm.
Oh, ain't she? Think I want to get in trouble with the police and lose my license?
What is the woman talking about?
Letting my barker fool with you. Ain't you ashamed?
I don't let no man.
He leaned against her all through the ride.
He leaned against the horse, but he didn't lay a hand on me.
Oh, no, Miss Innocence. And he didn't put his arm around your waist neither.
And suppose he did. Is that a reason to have a cataleptic fit?
You keep out of this, you old rip. You've had my warning. If you come back, you'll be thrown out.
Who'll throw me out?
Billy Bigelow, the barker. Same fellow you let get so free with you before.
I bet he wouldn't. He wouldn't throw me out. I bet the same thing.
You keep out of this, you hussy.
Go back to your carousel and leave us alone. Yeah, leave us alone, you old...
I don't run my business for a lot of chippies.
Chippy yourself. Yeah, chippy yourself.
Shut up. Chippy, 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 chippy. Chippy, 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 chippy. What's the matter anyway? Spitting and sputtering like 3 lumps of corn popping on a shovel.
Mr. Bigelow, please.
Don't yell.
I didn't yell.
Well, don't. What's the matter?
Take a good look at this girl, Billy. She ain't ever to be allowed on my carousel again. If she comes back, if she ever dares, I want you to throw her out. You heard me. Throw her out.
All right, you heard what the lady said. Run home.
Come on, Julie. No,
Would you like a drink?
Sure.
Mr. Bigelow, tell me, please, honest and truly, if I came to the carousel again, would you throw me out?
What'd she do anyway?
She says you put your arm around my waist.
Oh, that's it, huh? Here's something new. Can't put my arm around a girl without I ask your permission first. That's how it is.
I just don't want that one around no more.
Listen, miss. You come around all you want, see? And if you ain't got the price, Billy Bigelow will treat you to a ride.
Big talker, ain't you, Mr. Bigelow? Bet you think I can't throw you out too if I wanna. You're such a good barker, I can't possibly get along without you. That it? Well, just for that, you're discharged. Your services are no longer required. You're bounced. See?
All right, Mrs. Mullen.
What I meant to say was I could bounce you if I felt like it.
And you felt like it just now, so I'm bounced.
Do you have to pick up on every word that I say? I just said
that my services were no longer required. Very good, Mrs. Mullen. We'll let it go at that.
All right, you devil. We'll let it go at that.
Mr. Bigelow, she's willing to say she'll change her mind.
You keep out of it.
I don't want this to happen on account of me.
Apologize to you.
Me? Apologize to her? For what? For ruining the good name of my carousel given to me by my poor, dear departed husband. I only wish he was alive this minute.
Bet he don't.
He'd give you such a smack on the jaw.
And that's just what I'm gonna give you if you don't dry up.
You upstart, after all I've done for you.
Give.
We're through for good this time. I won't take you back like before, you hear me? Through for good.
Mr. Bigelow.
Now, don't go feeling sorry for me. Don't you get sorry for me either.
I don't feel sorry for you, Mr. Bigelow.
You're a liar. I can see it in your face. You are feeling sorry for me. You think now that she fired me, I won't be able to get another job.
What will you do now, Mr. Bigelow?
Well, first I'll go get a glass of beer. Whenever something bothers me, I always drink a glass of beer.
Then you are bothered about losing your job.
No, just about how I'm gonna pay for the beer. Will you pay for it? Will you? How much money you got?
43 cents.
And you? I asked you how much money you got. All right, I understand. You don't have to cry about it. Look, I'm gonna go get my stuff from the carousel, and when I get back, we'll all go have a drink. Keep your money. I'll pay.
Julie? Julie? Do you like him? I don't know.
Did you like it when he talked to you today?
When he put you on the carousel that way? Did you like that?
I'd rather not say.
You're a queer one, Julie Jordan. You are quieter and deeper than a well. And you never tell me nothing.
There's nothing that I care to choose to tell.
You've been acting most peculiar. Every morning you're awake ahead of me. Always sitting by the window.
I like to watch the river meet the sea.
When we work at the mill, even at the loom, you gaze absent-minded at the roof. And half the time the shuttle gets twisted in threads till you can't tell the warp from the woof.
Tain't so.
You're a queer one, Julie Jordan. You won't ever tell a body what you think. You're as tight-lipped as an oyster and as silent as an old Sahara sphinx.
Sphinx.
Huh?
Sphinx.
Sphinx.
You spell it with an X.
Julie, that's only if there's more than one. I've just been busting to tell you something lately.
You have?
The reason I didn't care to tell you before was you didn't have a feller of your own. Now that you got one, I reckon I can tell you about mine.
I'm so glad you have a feller, Carrie. What's his name?
His name is Mr. Snow, and an obstinate man is he. He comes home every night in his round-bottomed boat with a net full of herring from the sea. An almost perfect bow, as refined as a girl could wish. But he spends so much time in his round-bottomed boat that he can't seem to lose the smell of fish. The first time he kissed me, the whiff of his clothes knocked me flat on the floor of the room. But now that I love him, my heart's in my nose, and fish is my favorite perfume. Last night he spoke quite low, and a fair-spoken man is he. And he said, Miss Pipperidge, I'd like it fine if I could be with a wife. And indeed, Miss Pipperidge, if you'll be mine, I'll be yours for the rest of my life. Next moment we were promised, and now my mind's in a maze. For all I can do is look forward to that wonderful day of days. When I marry Mr. Snow, the flowers will be buzzing with the hum of bees. The birds will make a racket in the churchyard trees. When I marry Mr. Snow, then it's off to home we'll go. And both of us will look a little dreamy-eyed, driving to the cottage by the ocean side, where the salty breezes blow. He'll carry me across the threshold, and I'll be as meek as a lamb. Then he'll set me on my feet, and I'll say, kind of sweet, well, Mr. Snow, here I am. Then I'll kiss him so he'll know that everything will be as right can be. Living in the cottage by the sea with me. For I love that Mr. Snow, that young seafaring, bold and daring, big bee-whiskered.
happy for you, Carrie. So you see, Julie, I can understand how you feel about Mr. Billy Bigelow.
What are you still doing here?
You told us to wait for you.
What do you think I want with two of you? I meant that one of you was to wait. The other one can go home.
All right.
No, one of you stays. Where do you work?
Mr. Bascom's cotton mill, a little ways up the river.
And you?
I work there too.
Well, one of you goes home. Come on, speak up.
Whoever stays loses her job.
How do you mean?
All Bascom's cotton mill girls have to be respectable. We all live in the mill boarding house, and if we're late, they lock us out and we can't work there anymore.
That's right. You'll be discharged if you stay.
That's right.
Well, one of you stays.
Julie, should I go?
I can't tell you what to do.
All right. You stay if you like.
That's right. I'll bounce you if you're not home on time.
Julie, should I go? Why do you keep asking me that?
You always know what's best to do.
All right, Carrie, you go.
Okay. Good night, Julie.
It looks like we're both out of a job. Have you had your supper?
No,
Oh, want to eat out on the pier?
no,
Anywheres else?
no.
Well, I haven't seen you around the carousel much. Only see you there 3 times before today.
I've been there much more than that.
That right?
Yes,
Did you see me?
yes,
Did you know I was Billy Bigelow?
they told me.
Have you got a sweetheart?
No,
Don't lie to me.
I haven't anybody.
You stayed here with me the first time I asked you. You know your way around, all right, all right.
No, I don't, Mr. Bigelow.
And suppose you don't know why you're sitting here like this, alone with me. Why did you stay?
So you wouldn't be left alone?
Alone? Gosh, you're dumb. I don't need to be alone. I can have all the girls I want. Don't you know that?
I know, Mr. Bigelow,
What do you know?
that all the girls are crazy for you. But that's not why I stayed. I stayed because you've been so good to me.
Well, then you can go home.
I don't want to go home now.
And suppose I walk away and leave you sitting here.
Even then, I wouldn't go home.
You know who you remind me of? This girl I met in Coney Island. Tell you how I met her. One night, just as we had put out the lights in the carousel, I was going to get my things.
Good
and-
evening, Mr. Bascom.
Good evening, Timony. Nice night.
Indeed it is. Mr. Bascom, isn't that girl one of your girls?
One of my girls. Miss Jordan, is that you?
Yes, Mr. Bascom.
Whatever are you doing out at this hour? You know what time we close our doors to the mill boarding house? You couldn't be home now on time if you ran all the way.
No, sir.
Who's old Sideburns?
Here now, don't you go calling Mr. Bascom names unless you're fixing yourself to get into trouble. We got a report on this guy from the police chief at Bangor. Says he's pretty sly gazebo, comes up from Coney Island.
New York, yeah.
He works on carousels, has a specialty of young things like this in. Gets them all moony-eyed, promises to marry him, takes all their money.
I ain't got no money.
You speak when spoken to, miss.
Now, Julie, you've heard what kind of blackguard this man is. You're an inexperienced girl and he's imposed on you and deluded you. And that's why I'm inclined to give you one more chance.
You hear that?
I'm meeting Miss Bascom at the church tonight. We'll drive you home and I'll explain everything to the house matron. Come along now.
Do I have to go with you?
No, you don't have to.
Then I'll stay.
After I warned you?
You see, Timony, there's some of them you just can't help. Good night.
Good night, Mr. Bascom. You low-down scallywag, I ought to throw you in jail.
What for?
Don't know. Wish I did.
Well, and then what?
Huh?
You were starting to tell me a story
Me?
about that girl on Coney Island. You said you just turned out the lights in the carousel, and that's as far as you got.
Oh, yes. Well, we had just turned out the lights and someone came along, a little girl with a shawl. Say, tell me something. Aren't you scared of me? I mean, after what that cop said about me taking money from girls?
I ain't scared.
That's your name. Julie. Julie something.
Julie Jordan.
You're a queer one, Julie Jordan. Ain't you sorry that you didn't run away? You can still go if you wanna.
I reckon that I care to choose to stay. You couldn't take my money if I didn't have any, and I don't have a penny, that's true. But if I did have money, you couldn't take any, 'cause you'd ask and I'd give it to you.
You're a queer one, Julie Jordan. Have you ever had a fella you give money to?
No,
Ain't you ever had a fella at all?
no,
Well, you must have had a fella you went walking with.
yes,
Where'd you walk?
nowhere special I recall.
In the woods,
No,
on a beach.
no,
Did you love him?
no, never loved no one. I told you that.
You know, you're a funny kid. Say, do you want to go into town and dance maybe, or we
No,
could...
I have to be careful.
Of what?
My character? You see, I'm never gonna marry. I'm never gonna marry. If I was gonna marry, I wouldn't have to be such a stickler. But I'm never gonna marry, and a girl who don't marry has got to be much more particular.
Suppose I was to say that I'd marry you.
You?
That does scare you, doesn't it? Yeah, you're thinking about what that cop said.
No, I ain't. I never paid no mind to what he said.
But you wouldn't marry someone like me, would you?
Yes, I would. If I loved you, it would have made no difference what you did, even if I died for it.
How do you know what you'd do if you loved me, or how you'd feel, or...
I don't know how I'd know.
Yeah.
It's just the same I know how it'd be if I loved you. When I worked at the mill, weaving at the loom, I'd gaze absent-minded at the roof. And half the time the shuttle tangle in the thread and the warp get mixed with the woof. If I loved you...
But you don't.
No, I don't. But somehow I can see just exactly how I'd be if I loved you. Time and again I would try to say all I want you to know. If I loved you, words wouldn't come in an easy way. Round in circles I'd go. Longing to tell you, but afraid and shy, I'd let my golden chances pass me by. Soon you'd leave me, off you would go in the mist of day. Never, never to know how I loved you. If I loved you.
Well, anyways, you don't love me. That's what you said, isn't it?
Yes. I can smell them, can you? The blossoms? The wind brings them down.
much wind tonight. Hardly any. You can't hear a sound, not the turn of a leaf, nor the fall of a wave hitting the sand. The tide's creeping up on the beach like a thief, afraid to be caught stealing the land. On nights like this, I start to wonder what life is all about.
And I always say 2 heads are better than 1 to figure it out.
Look, I don't need you or anybody to help me. I mean, I got it figured out for myself. We're not important. What are we? A couple of specks of nothing. Look up there. There's a hell of a lot of stars in the sky, and a sky so big a sea looks small, and 2 little people, you and I, we don't count at all. You're a funny kid. Don't ever recall meeting a girl like you. Say, are you trying to get me to marry you?
No.
What's putting it into my head then? You're different, all right. You look up at me with that face like you trusted me. I wonder what it'd be like.
What?
Nothing. No, I know what it'd be like. It'd be awful. Kind of scrawny and pale and picking at my food and lovesick like any other guy. I'd throw away my sweater and dress up like a dude in a dickie and a collar and a tie. If I loved you.
But you don't.
No, I don't. But somehow I can see just exactly how I'd be if I loved you. Time and again I would try to say all I'd want you to know. If I loved you, words wouldn't come in an easy way, crowned in circles I'd go, longing to tell you, but afraid and shy. I'd let my golden chances pass me by. Soon you leave me, off you would go in the mist of day. Never, never to know how I loved you. If I loved you. Listen, I'm not the kind of fella to marry anybody. No, even if a girl was foolish enough to want me to, I wouldn't.
Don't worry about it, Billy.
Who's worried?
You're right about there being no wind. The blossoms are just coming down by themselves. Just their time to, I reckon.
Making you a nuisance and a plague with your yelling and screaming and carrying on? Give it to him, Carrie! Yeah, give it to him, Dad! Oh, just you wait until
Here, boys, here's some donuts and coffee. Fall 2. Here, now, don't jump at it like you was a lot of animals in a menagerie.
Nettie, after just telling them, now what'd you do that for?
They've been drinking clams since 5 o'clock this morning. I see them myself down on the beach.
Even after they're pestering and annoying you? Nettie, you soft-hearted ninny.
Oh, you can't blame them. First clam bake of the year, they're always like this. It's like unlocking a door and all the crazy notions they kept shut up for the winter come whooping out to the sunshine. This year's just like any other. March went out like a lion, whipping up the water in the bay. Then April cried and stepped aside, and along came pretty little May. May was full of promises, but she didn't keep them quick enough for some. And a lot of doubt in Thomas's was predicting that the summer never come.
You can feel it come, you can see it in the heart, you can see it in the ground.
You can hear it in the trees, you can smell it in the breeze. Look around, look around, look around.
Tune is busting out all over the meadow and the hills. Buds are busting out of bushes and the romping river pushes every little wheel that wheels beside a mill. June is busting out all over. The feeling is getting so intense that the unvirgin creepers have been hugging the jeepers out of all the morning glories on the fence. Because it's June, 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 June. Just because it's June, June, June. Nation alive and gay and young. June is a long song, sweetest song. June is busting out all over.
The saplings are busting out with sap.
Love has found my brother Junior.
My sister is even loonier.
And my ma's getting kittenish with Pat. June is busting out all over. To ladies, the men are paying court. Lots of ships are kept at anchor just because the captain's hanker for comfort he can only get in port. Because it's June, 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 June. Just because it's June, June, June.
busting out all over. The ocean is full of Jackson Jills.
With every tail was swishing, every lady fish was wishing that a man would come to grab her by the gills.
June is busting out all over. The sheep aren't sleeping anymore. All the rams that chase the U-sheep are determined there'll be new sheep, and the U-sheep aren't even keeping score. On account of June, 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 just because it's June, June, June.
Julie?
Did you find him?
No. He went out with Mr. Cragen last night and he didn't come home.
Who's Mr. Cragen?
Billy's new friend. He's a sailor on that big whaler, the Nancy B. They're sailing tomorrow. I'll be glad.
Why don't you two visit for a while? Come on, girls, we got work to do. Yeah, get those baskets and sweep those steps, and you two don't go poking your noses in other people's business.
You need me, Cousin Eddie?
No. Why don't you two visit for a while? You haven't seen each other for a long time. Do you good.
Is he working yet?
No. And Eddie's been awful kind to us, letting us stay here with her.
Mr. Snow says that a man that can't find work these days is just bone lazy.
But Billy don't know any trade. He's only good at what he used to do, so now he just don't do anything.
Wouldn't the Carousel woman take him back?
I think she would, but he won't go. I asked him why, and he won't tell me. Last Monday, he hit me.
Did you hit him back?
No.
Why didn't you leave him?
I don't want to.
I would. I'd leave him. Thinks he can do whatever he likes just because he's Billy Bigelow. Doesn't support you and beats you, he's a bad one.
He ain't willingly or meaningly bad.
Maybe he ain't. That night you sat on the bench together, he was gentle then, you told me.
Yes, he was.
But now he's always acting up.
Not always. Sometimes when he comes out here and listens to the music from the Carousel, something comes over him and he's gentle.
What's he say?
Nothing. He just sits and gets thoughtful. You see, he's unhappy because he ain't working. That's really why he hit me on Monday.
Fine reason for hitting you because he ain't working?
It preys on his mind.
Did he hurt you?
Oh, no. No.
Julie, I've got some good news about me. About Mr. Snow and me. We're going to be cried in church next Sunday.
Minutes, don't come at me all together.
Well, tell us, how long you been bespoke? Near on 2 months. Julie was the first to know.
What's he like, Julie?
Julia's never seen him, but she will soon. You all will soon. He's coming to the clam bake.
I can't hardly wait to meet him. I can hardly wait for the wedding.
Me neither.
What a day that'll be for you.
When you walk down the aisle, all the heads will turn. What a rustling of bonnets there'll be. And you'll try to smile, but your cheeks will burn, and your eyes will get so dim you can hardly see. With your orange blossoms quivering in your hand, you will stumble to the spot where the parson is, and your finger will be ringed with a golden band, and you'll know the fella's yours, and you are his. When I marry Mr. Snow, what a day, what a day. The flowers will be buzzing with the hum of bees. The birds will make a racket in the churchyard trees. When I marry Mr. Snow, hi-ho, then it's off to home we'll go. Sailing nice on the lake, where everything'll be as right can be. A living in the cottage by the ocean side, where the salty breezes blow. You and Mr. Snow, he'll carry me across the threshold, and I'll be as meek as a lamb. Then he'll set me on my feet, and I'll say kind of sweet, well, Mr. Snow, here I am.
Then I'll kiss her so she'll know that everything will be as right as rain can be. I'll living in a cottage by the sea with me when the salty breezes blow. I love Miss Pipperidge, and I aim to make Miss Pipperidge change her name to Miss Enoch Snow.
I'll never look him in the face again. Never.
Surprised?
Surprised, I'm mortified. Well, this is him. Hi.
Carrie's told me a lot about you.
I've told you a lot about Julie, haven't I?
Carrie tells me you're coming to the clam bake.
Looks like we'll have good weather for it too.
Not a cloud in the sky.
You're right.
He don't say much, but what he does say is awful pithy. Is he anything like I told you he was?
Just like.
Oh, Carrie, I near forgot. I brought you some flowers.
Flowers, where are they? Geranium seeds.
Uh-huh. And this one here's hydrangea. I thought we could plant them in front of the cottage, you know? They do good in the salt air.
That'll be beautiful.
I like digging around a garden in my spare time, you know? Like to plant flowers and to take care of them. Does your husband like that too?
I couldn't very well say if Billy likes to take care of flowers. He does like to smell him, though.
Enoch's nice looking, ain't he?
Oh, come, Carrie.
Steady and reliable, too. Well, ain't y'all gonna wish us luck? Good luck! And Julie, you can kiss Enoch, too, with us being such good friends and me being right here, looking at you.
Why are you crying, Mrs.
It's because she has such a good heart.
We thank you for your heartfelt sympathy. We thank you, Mrs.
Mrs. Bigelow, Mrs. Billy. You know Carrie. This is her intended Mr. Snow.
Mr. Bigelow, I almost feel like I know you.
How are you?
I'm all right. Just getting over a little chest cold, you know? This time of year, huh?
Billy.
All right, say it. I stayed out all night and I ain't working and I'm living off your cousin Nettie.
I didn't say anything.
No, but you were thinking it.
Oh, Billy. Be sure to come back in time to go to the clam bake.
Ain't going to no clam bake. Come on, Cragen.
I'm glad you got no whipped tambourine notions like Billy.
Well, Carrie, it seems to me that a man has got enough to worry about, getting a good sleep at night so he can put in a good day's work the next day without having to go out and look for any special trouble.
That's true, Enoch.
A man has got to make plans for his life and then he's got to stick to them.
Your plans are turning out just fine, ain't they, Enoch?
All according to schedule. So far. I own a little house and I sail a little boat, and the fish I catch I sell. And in a manner of speaking, I'm doing very well. I love a little girl and she's in love with me, and soon she'll be my bride. Then in a manner of speaking, I should be satisfied.
Well, ain't you?
If I told you my plans and the things I intend, it'd make every curl on your head stand on end. When I make enough money out of one little boat, I'll put all my money in another little boat. I'll make twice as much out of 2 little boats. Then the first thing you know, I'll have 4 little boats, then 8 little boats, then a fleet of little boats, then a great big fleet of great big boats. All catching herring, bringing it ashore, sailing out again and bringing in more and more. More and more.
Who's going to eat all that herring?
They ain't gonna be herring. Gonna put them in cans and call them sardines. Gonna build a little sardine cannery, then a big one, and the biggest one in the whole country. Carrie, I'm gonna get rich on sardines. I mean, we're gonna get rich, you and me. I mean, you and me and all of us. The first year we're married, we'll have 1 little kid. The second year we'll go and have another little kid. You'll soon be done in socks for 8 little feet.
I can build enough to another fleet.
We'll build a lot more rooms. Our dear little house will get bigger. Our dear little house will get bigger.
And so will my figure.
Carrie, can't you imagine how it'll be when the children are upstairs in bed? You and me can sit alone by the fireside, me in my armchair and you on my knee? Maybe.
Maybe.
When the children are asleep, we'll sit and dream the things that every other dad and mother dream. When the children are asleep and lights are low, if I still love you, the way I love you today. You'll pardon my saying I told you so. When the children are asleep, I'll dream with you. We'll think what fun we have had and be glad that it all came true.
When children are awake, or romping through the rooms and running on the stairs, then in a matter of speaking, our house is really theirs. But once they close their eyes and we are left alone and free from all their fuss, then in a matter of speaking, we can be really us. When the children are asleep, we'll sit and dream
all alone.
the things that every other dad and mother
Dreams that won't be interrupted when the children are asleep and lights are
Lo
low.
and behold, if I still love you the way I love you today, you'll pardon my saying I told you so. When the children are asleep, I'll dream with you.
Dream with me.
We'll think what fun we have had and be glad that it all came true.
Today is a long time ago. You'll still hear me say that's the best dream I know is you.
When the children are asleep, I'll dream with you.
She blows, blow high, blow low, away then we will go. We'll go a whaling, a sailing away, away we'll go, blow me high and low, for many a long, long day, for many a long, long day.
Hey, Billy, where you going? Stick with me. After we get rid of my shipmates, I want to talk to you. Got an idea for you and me to make money.
How much?
More than you ever saw in your life. Ha ha!
For many a long, long day.
The people who live on land are hard to understand. We looking for fun, they clap you into jam. Some shipping off the sea, where life is gay and free, and a fella can flip a hook in the hip of a whale.
Blow high, blow low, a whaling we will go. We'll go a whaling, a sailing away, away we'll go. Blow me high and low, for many a long, long day. For many a long, long day.
It's wonderful just to feel your hands upon the wheel, to listen to wind whistling in a sail.
Well, to climb aloft and be the very first to see a chrysanthemum spout come out of the snout of a whale.
Blow high, blow low, away we will go. We'll go a whaling, a sailing away, away we'll go. Blow me high and low, for many a long, long day. For many a long, long day.
A rocking upon the sea, your boat will seem to be like a dear little baby in her bassinet. But she hasn't learned to walk, and she hasn't learned to talk, and a little behind is kind of inclined to be wet.
Blow high, blow low, away we will go. We'll go a whaling, a sailing away, away we'll go. Blow me high and low, for many a long, long day. For many a long, long day. Yeah!
Listen, Billy, I tell you, it's as safe as selling cakes.
So you say this old Sideburns who owns the mill is also the owner of your ship?
That's right. And tonight he'll be taking $3,000 or $4,000 down to the captain by himself, who walk along the waterfront by himself with all of that money.
Now, you think he'd have somebody go with him?
Not him. Not the last 3 times. Anyway, I watched him from the same spot to see him pass me. Once I nearly jumped him.
Why didn't you?
Well, don't like to do a job unless it's airtight. This one needs 2 to pull it off proper. Besides, there was a moon shining on him, like a torch. Don't like moons. Lately, the nights have been running the fog, and it's 10 to 1 we'll have fog tonight. That's why I wanted you to tell your wife we go to that clam bake.
Clam bake? Why?
Suppose we're all over the island and you and me get lost in the fog for half an hour. And suppose we got in a boat and came over here and did whatever we had to do. That's your alibi. We just say we're lost on the island all that time.
But just what would we have to do? I mean me, what would I have to do?
You go up to old Sideburns and say, "Excuse me, sir, could you tell me the time?"
"Excuse me, sir, could you tell me the time?" Then what?
Then, well, by that time, I got my knife in his ribs. Then you take your knife.
Me, I ain't got a knife.
You can get one, can't you?
Does he have to be killed?
No, he doesn't have to be killed. He can give up the money without being killed. But these New Englanders are funny. They'd rather be killed. Well,
I ain't gonna do it. It's dirty.
What's dirty about it?
The knife!
All right, forget the knife. Just go up to him with a tin cup and say, "Please, sir, will you give me $3,000 and see what he does for you?"
I ain't gonna do it.
Of course, if you have all the money you want and don't need.
I ain't got a cent. Money thinks I'm dead.
That's what I thought. And you were out of a job and you got a wife to support.
Hey, shut up about my wife. Or... What are you doing here?
Hello, Billy.
What are you doing here? You've got...
Come to talk business.
Business.
See, you're still hanging around your jailbird friend.
Hey, what's it to you who I hang around with?
If there's one thing I can't abide, it's the common type of woman.
What'd you come for anyway? You got yourself a new barker, ain't you?
Why don't you stay home and sleep at night? You look awful.
He's as good as me, I bet.
Push your hair off your forehead.
Let my hair be.
If I told you to let it hang down over your eyes, you'd push it back. So, I hear you've been beating her. If you're so sick of her, why don't you leave her? There's no use beating the poor, skinny little...
Leave her, eh? You'd like that, wouldn't you?
Don't flatter yourself. I knew I shouldn't have come here. The things you gotta do while you're in business. Why, I'd sell that damn carousel if I could.
Ain't it crowded without me?
Those fool girls keep asking for you. They miss you, see? Are you gonna be sensible and come back?
And leave Julie?
You beat her, don't you?
No, I don't beat her. What's all this damn fool talk about beating? I hit her once, and now the entire town is... If I hear one more, I'll smash...
All right, I take it back. I don't want to get caught up in it.
Beating her, as if I'd beat her.
What's the use one way or another? Look at the thing straight. You've been married for 2 months, and you're sick of it. Out there's the carousel. Show booths, young girls, all the beer you could want, a good living, and you're throwing it all away. You know what? I got a new organ.
I know.
How do you know?
You can hear it from here. Listen to it every night.
Good one, ain't it?
Jim Dandy got a nice tone.
You ought to come up closer and listen to it. Makes you think the carousel's going faster and faster, and you belong out there and you know it. You ain't cut out for a respectable married man. You're an artist type. You belong among artists. I tell you what, come back with me and I'll give you that ruby ring my husband left me.
I don't know. I might go back. I could still go on living here with Julie.
Holy Moses!
What's wrong?
Can you imagine how the girls would love that? A barker who runs home to his wife every night. Why, people would laugh themselves sick.
Yeah, I know what you want.
Don't be so stuck on yourself.
I ain't happy here, and that's the truth.
Of course you ain't.
Do you want anything?
I brought you your coffee.
Why don't you sit and have a talk with her? Maybe she'll be glad to get rid of you.
Maybe.
Billy, Before I forget, I got something to tell you.
Well?
I can't. We gotta be alone.
Can't you see I'm busy?
It'll only take a minute.
Will you get out of here?
I tell you, it'll only take a minute.
Will you get out of here?
No.
What did you say to me?
Leave her alone, Billy. I tell you what, I'll go stop in at Bascom's bank and pick up some small change for the carousel. I'll be back in a few minutes for your answer to my proposition.
Don't you look at me like that. I ain't afraid of you. Ain't afraid of anyone. I have something to tell you.
Well, tell me, make it quick.
I can't tell it so quick. Why don't you drink your coffee?
That's what you wanted to tell me?
No. By the time you drink it, I'll have told you.
Well?
Yesterday, my head ached, and you asked me if I...
Yes?
Well, you see, that's what it is.
You're sick?
No, it's nothing like that. It's awful hard to tell you. But I ain't a bit scared, because it's a perfectly natural thing.
What is?
Well, when two people live together...
Yes?
I'm gonna have a baby.
Craig and Julie's gonna have a baby.
Yeah, what about it?
Nothing?
You know, my mother had a baby once.
He in there with her?
Oh, God.
They're having it out, I bet. You know, once he comes back with me, I ain't gonna let him hang around with you anymore. You do know that, don't you?
Common woman.
Ain't gonna let him get in your clutches. Everyone who gets mixed up with you ends up in the jailhouse or the grave.
Carnival blonde, coming between a man and his wife.
Coming between nothing. They don't belong together. Nobody knows him like I do. And nobody's gonna get him away from me either. And that goes for you.
What, him? As if he let himself get tied up to an old, wobbly, hip slut like you. What good would he be to me?
Oh, he won't be no good to you. And he won't end up with a policeman's bullet in his heart like that Roberts boy you hung around with last year. I wish that bullet had got you instead, you sleek-eyed wharf rat. You keep away from him, that's all, or I'll get the cops after you.
Common woman.
Yeah, call names, but I got him back just the same. And you're through.
Go put on a new coat of paint. You're starting to peel, you old pleasure boat.
What are you still doing here?
You told me to come back, didn't you? Here, you'll be wanting an advance on your salary, seeing as how you've been out of work for such a long time now.
Go home, Mrs. Mullen.
What's the matter with you?
Can't you see I'm trying to have my breakfast? Go back to your carousel.
You mean you ain't coming with me?
No.
I'll never speak to you. Not if you were dying, I wouldn't.
That worries me a lot.
What did she say to you in there?
She just said that...
Some lot. About me, I bet.
No, Mrs. Mullen. Nothing about you. Just about Julie and me, and... As a matter of fact, Mrs. Mullen, I'm going to be a father.
You? Julie?
Go home, Mrs. Mullen.
You? A father?
Get the hell away from here, Mrs. Mullen. Goodbye, Mrs. Mullen. I wonder what he'll think of me. I guess he'll call me the old man. I guess he'll think I can lick every other fella's father. Well, I can. I bet that he'll turn out to be the spitting image of his dad. But he'll have more common sense than his pudding-headed father ever had. I'll teach him to wrestle and dive through a wave when we go in the mornings for a swim. His mother can teach him the way to behave, but she won't make a sissy out of him. Not him, not my boy, not Bill. My boy Bill, I will see that he's named after me. I will. My boy Bill, he'll be tall and as tough as a tree. Will Bill, like a tree, he'll grow with his head held high and his feet planted firm on the ground. And you won't see nobody dare to try to boss him or toss him around. No pot-bellied, baggy-eyed bully will boss him around. I don't give a damn what he does. As long as he does what he likes. He can sit on his tail or work on a rail with a hammer and spikes. He can ferry a boat on a river, or pedal a pack on his back, or work up and down the streets of a town with a whip and a horse and a hack. He can haul a scow along a canal, run a cow around a corral, or maybe bark for a carousel. Of course, it takes talent to do that well. He might be a champ of the heavyweights, or a fella that sells you glue, or president of the United States. Yeah, that'd be all right too. But he wouldn't have to be president if he didn't want to be. No, sir. Not Bill. My boy Bill, he'll be tall and as tough as a tree. Will Bill, like a tree, he'll grow with his head held high and his feet planted firm on the ground. And you won't see nobody dare to try to boss him or toss him around. No fat-bottomed, flabby-faced, pot-bellied, baggy-eyed bastard will boss him around. And I'm damned if he'll marry his boss's daughter, a skinny-lipped virgin with blood like water, who'll give him a peck and call it a kiss and look in his eyes through a lorgnette. Say, why am I ticking on like this? My kid ain't even been born yet. I can see him when he's 17 or so, and starting in to go with a girl. I can give him lots of pointers, very sound, on the way to get around any girl. I can tell him. Wait a minute. What the hell? What if he's a girl? Oh, Bill. What would I do with her? What would I do for her? I'm a bum with no money. You can have fun with a son, but you gotta be a father to a girl. She mightn't be so bad as that, a kid with ribbons in her hair, a kind of neat and petite little tintype of her mother. What a pair. My little girl, pink and white as peaches and cream is she. My little girl is half again as bright as girls are meant to be. Dozens of boys pursue her, many a likely lad does what he can to woo her from her faithful dad. She has a few pink and white young fellas of 2 and 3, but my little girl gets hungry every night, and she comes home to me. My little girl. I gotta get ready before she comes. I gotta make certain that she won't be dragged up in slums with a lot of bums like me. She's gotta be sheltered and fed and dressed in the best that money can buy. I never knew how to get money, but I'll try. By God, I'll try. I'll go out and make it, or steal it, or take it, or die.
Come on, you roustabouts. The clam bake is gonna start soon. Come and help load everything onto the boats. Oh, Billy, what's this I hear about you not going to the clam bake?
Clam bake? Maybe I will go after all. There's Kragan. I gotta talk to him. Kragan!
I'll tell Julie. She'll be tickled pink.
Kragan, listen. I changed my mind, about going to the clam bake, and I'll do everything just like you said. Gotta get money on account of the baby, see?
Sure, the baby. Did you get the knife?
Knife?
I only have a pocket knife. If he shows fight, we'll need a real one.
I ain't got a knife.
Go inside and take the kitchen knife.
Somebody might see me.
Take it so they don't see you.
Billy, is it true? Are you coming?
I think so, yes.
We'll have a barrel of fun. I'll show you all over the island. Know every inch of it. Been going to picnics there since I was a little girl.
Billy, you better go get that.
Get what, Billy?
Why?
The shawl. Billy said you ought to have a shawl. It gets cold at night. Fog comes up. Ain't that what you said?
Yes. The shawl, I better go get it.
That was real thoughtful of you, Billy.
I'll go get it.
Come on, all.
June is busting out all over. The flowers are busting from their seed.
And the pleasant life of Riley that is spoken of so highly is the life that everybody wants to lead. Because it's June, 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 June. Just because it's June, June.
I don't know if I should have ate those last 4 dozen clams.
Now listen here, Orin Peasley. You ought to keep your hands in your pockets if they're so cold.
This was a real nice clam bake. We're mighty glad we came. The victuals we ate were good, you bet. The company was the same. Our hearts are warm, our bellies are full, and we are feeling pride. This was a real nice clam bake, and we all had a real good time.
First come codfish chowder, cooked in iron kettles, onions floating on the top, curling up in petals, ribbons of salted pork, an old New England trick, and lapped it all up with a clamshell tied onto a bayberry stick.
This was a real nice clam bake. We're mighty glad we came. The victuals we ate were good, you bet. The company was the same. Our hearts are warm, our bellies are full, and we are feeling pride. This was a real nice clam bake, and we all had a real good time.
Remember when we raised them red-hot lobsters out of the driftwood fire? They sizzled and crackled and sputtered a song fitting for an angel's choir.
Fit for an angels, fit for an angels, fit for an angels choir.
We split him down the back and peppered him good, and doused him in melted butter.
And we tore away their claws and cracked them with our teeth, 'cause we weren't in the mood to utter. Fit for an angels, fit for an angels, fit for an angels choir.
Then at last come the clams, steamed under rockweed and popping from their shells. Just how many of them galloped down our gullet?
boys started their treasure hunt.
Just a minute. We gotta clean up this island. We can't leave it like this for the next picnickers that come. Okay, Bogan, and get to work. The whole kit and caboodle of you. Clean up those bottles and burn that rubbish. Oh, Enoch, while they're cleaning up, you go hide the treasure.
Will do. Whoa, 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 whoa. Why should he get out of working?
Because he found the treasure last year. The one that finds it, hides it the next year. That's the way we do.
That's a well set up little piece, that Carrie.
Kragan, ain't it near time for us to start?
No, we'll wait till they're ready for that treasure hunt. That'll be a good way for you and me to leave. We'll be a team, see? Don't get lost together. Like I said, now stop jumping from one foot to the other, go along to your wife and tell the little Carrie to come and talk to me.
Kragan, you ain't got time for girls tonight.
Sure I have. You know me. Quick or nothing.
Kragan, after we do it, what then?
We bury the money and then go on like nothing happened for 6 months. Wait another 6 months, and then buy a passage on a ship.
But the baby will be born by then.
We'll take it with us.
Maybe we'll sail to San Francisco.
Why do you keep putting your hand to your chest?
My heart's jumping up and down under the knife.
Then put the knife on the other side.
Mr. Bigelow, Julie says you should come and help her.
I don't feel so well.
So maybe the clam's not sitting so good on your stomach.
No, it's nothing on my stomach. It's something on my mind. Sit down here with me a minute. I want your advice.
Now look here, Mr. Cragen, I've got no time for wharf yarns or spoon drift.
I want your advice. You're sweeter than sugar, and I'm crazy for you. Never had this feeling before for anyone.
Mr. Cragen!
Why? Ain't nothing I wouldn't do for you just to see your lovely smile. I swim through beer with my mouth closed. You're the only girl for me. How about a little kiss?
Mr. Cragen, I couldn't.
Didn't you hear me say I loved you?
I'm awful sorry for you, but what can I do? Enoch and me are going to be cried in church next Sunday.
Oh, next Sunday. I'll be far out at sea, looking at the icy, gray water. Maybe I'll jump in and drown myself.
Don't!
Well, then give me a kiss. One measly little kiss.
Enoch wouldn't like it!
I don't want to kiss Enoch.
I'll thank you not to yell at me, Mr. Cragen. If you love me like you say you do, then please show me the same respect you would if you didn't love me.
Carrie, Miss Pipperidge, just one word, please. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness, only I couldn't help myself. For a few awful minutes, I let the brute come out in me.
I think I understand, Mr. Cragen.
Thank you. Thank you kindly. There's just one thing that worries me, and it worries me a lot. It's about you.
About me?
You had no right to stay here alone and talk with a man you hardly knew. Now, suppose I was a different type of feller. A feller who uses his physical strength to have his will. There are such men, you know.
I know, but...
Every girl ought to know how to defend herself against beasts like that. Now, there are certain grips of wrestling I could teach you. Tricks that will land a master flat on his face in 2 minutes.
But I ain't strong enough.
It don't take strength. It's all on the balance. A flick of the wrist and a dig with the elbow. Here, just let me show you a simple one. This might save your life someday. Now, suppose the fella were to grab you like this. Now put your 2 hands on my neck. Now pull me toward you. Now put my head down. Now put your left arm all the way around my neck. And now squeeze harder, tighter.
Does it hurt?
You got me helpless.
Show me another one.
Right. Here's how you can pick a fella up and send him sprawling. Now, I'll stand here and you go, whoa, 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 whoa. Wait a minute. I'll do it to you first and then you do it to me. Stand up here and relax. Now, this is the way firemen carry people.
Is it?
Now, see how helps you can make a fella if he gets fresh with you?
Oh, Mr. Cragen.
Oh, boy.
Hello, Enoch. This is the way firemen carry people.
Where's the fire?
He was only showing me how to defend myself.
Didn't look like you learned much by the time I came.
Oh, what's all the wustling and hustling and fuzzling about?
You, sir, are as scurvy a hunk of scum I ever see at the water's edge at low tide.
The same side view.
I never thought I'd see the woman I'm engaged to being dragged out of the woods like a falling deer.
But he wasn't dragging me out of the woods. He was dragging me into the woods. Oh, Enoch, I do not mean it like that.
I think we've said all we have to say. I can't abide women who are free, loose, and lollygagging. I'd certainly never marry one.
But Enoch!
Please, just leave me, please, with my shattered dreams. They're all I have left. Memories of what didn't happen. Geraniums in the window, hydrangeas on the lawn, and breakfast lost in the kitchen in the timid pink of dawn, and you two blow me kisses when I headed for the sea. We might have made a happy pair of lovers, mightn't have we? And coming home at twilight, it might have been so sweet to take my catch of herring and lay them at your feet. I might have had a baby.
What?
To dandle on my knee. But all these things that might have been are never, never to be.
I never seen yet to fail. I never see it fail. A girl who's in love with a virtuous man is doomed to weep and wail. Stonecutters cut it on stone. Woodpeckers peck it on wood. There's nothing so bad for a woman as a man who thinks he's good.
Nice talk.
My mother used to say to me, when you grow up, my son, I hope you're a bum like your father was, 'cause a good man ain't no fun. Stonecutters cut it on stone, woodpeckers peck it on wood. There's nothing so bad for a woman as a man who thinks he's good.
Chainsaw! Tis two. Chainsaw! Tis two.
Enoch, say you forgive me. Say something sweet to me, Enoch. Something soft and sweet.
Boston cream pies.
Great. Don't you think?
Hey, when are we gonna start that treasure hunt?
Right now. You guys got your partners, 2 men to each team, and you got 30 minutes to find the treasure. 30 minutes. And the winners can kiss any girls they want.
Oh.
Billy, are you going with Cragen? Don't you think that's foolish?
Why?
Neither of you knows the island good. You ought to split up and each go with...
We're partners, see? Come on, Cragen.
I just don't know what gets into men. Enoch put on a new suit today, and he was a different person.
I've never seen it yet to fail.
I never see it fail. A girl who's in love with any man is doomed to weep and wail.
And it's even worse once they marry you.
You ought to give him the ring back, Carrie. You'd be better off.
Here's Armony. She's been married for a year. She'll tell you.
The clock just takes your life away. There's no relief in sight. It's cooking and scrubbing and sewing all day and not much sleeping at night.
Stonecutters cutting on stone. Woodpeckers pecking on wood. There's nothing so bad for a woman as a man who's bad or good.
Now, you tell her, Julie.
She's your best friend.
What's the use of wondering if he's good or if he's bad, or if you like the way he wears his hat? Oh, what's the use of wondering if he's good or if he's He's your feller and you love him. That's all there is to that. Common sense may tell you that the ending will be sad, and now's the time to break and run away. But what's the use of wondering if the ending will be sad? He's your feller and you love him. There's nothing more to say. Something made him the way that he is, whether he's false or true, and something gave him the things that are his. One of those things is you. So when he wants your kisses, you will give them to the lad, and anywhere he leads you, you will walk. And anytime he needs you, you'll go running there like mad. You're his girl and he's your feller, and all the rest is talk.
Oh, Billy. Billy, where are you going?
Where are we going?
We're going on that treasure hunt.
No, Billy. I don't want you to. Let me come with you.
No.
Oh, Billy.
I ain't got time to fool with women.
No. Billy, wait, come back.
Common sense may tell you that the ending will be sad, and now's the time to break and run away. What's the use of wondering if the ending will be sad? He's your feller and you love him. There's nothing more to say.
Suppose he don't come.
He will. What will you say to him?
I say, excuse me, sir. Could you tell me the time? And suppose he answer me. What do I do then?
He won't answer you.
Cragen, have you ever, killed somebody before?
If I did, I wouldn't be likely to say so, would I?
No, I suppose not. But let's just say that tonight what if one day when we die, we have to come before
Before who?
God?
You and me, not a chance.
Why not?
What's the highest court they ever dragged you into?
Just police magistrates, I guess.
Never been before a Supreme Court judge, have you?
No?
Well, same thing in the next world. For the rich folks, the heavenly court, and the high judge. For you and me, police magistrates. For the rich, fine music and chubby little
Won't we get any music?
Not a note. All we get is justice. Yes, sir, there'll be plenty of that for you and me. Nothing but justice.
It's getting late. They'll be coming back from the clam bake soon. Sure wish he'd show up.
He will. What do you say we played some cards? Time will pass quicker that way.
All right.
All right. Got any money?
80 cents.
All right. 80 cents. We'll play 21. I'll bank.
All righty. I'll bet the bank.
Sounds like he's got ace.
Come again. Another. Over. Sure wish old Sideburns would hurry up.
He's a little late. Wanna go on with the game?
I ain't got him more money, I told you.
Wanna play on credit?
Credit? You mean you'll trust me?
No, but I'll deduct it.
From what?
From your share of the money. And if you win, you deduct it from my share of the money.
All right. Can't sit around here doing nothing. Drive a fella crazy. How much is the bank?
Sideburns usually has 3,000 on him, and that's what he usually brings to captain. But tonight, the captain don't get it. We get it. 1,500 to you, 1,500 to me.
All right, go ahead and deal. $50. No, $100. Enough. Double or nothing.
Double or nothing it is.
Come again. Over. Deal again.
Billy, has anybody ever told you you're bad at playing cards?
Nope. $500. Dollars.
Say, you're a plunger, ain't you? Yes, sir.
I'm good.
21.
Hey, are you cheating?
Me? Do I look like a cheat?
Deal. How much is that?
That's 700 you owe me.
700? Double or nothing. Come again. I'll stand pat.
21. A natural.
That's all my money. You, damn you! You dirty little crook! If I had half of... Oh, crap! Excuse me, sir. Could you, tell me the time?
Don't move, either one of you. Drop the knife. Ahoy up there on the Nancy B. Captain Watson. Anybody up there?
Ahoy, who's down there?
Go after that one. He's running up Maple Street. I'll cover the other one. There's another bullet in this gun. Don't you forget it. Look behind me. What do you see coming?
2 policemen.
You wanted to know what time it was? I'll tell you the time. For you, it'll be 10 to 20 years in prison.
No, it won't.
Where do you think you're escaping to? The sky?
They won't put me in no prison. Stop it! Julie!
Bascom, you okay?
Yes, I'm all right. Lucky, though. Very lucky. Tonight was the first night I ever brought my pistol with me.
Bring him out there and lay him out flat. I'll find something to put on his head.
The fools. They didn't even notice I was coming from the ship, not going to it. The silly fools.
The money they try to kill us for is locked up in my desk.
The silly fools. What's that?
The folks coming back from the clam bake.
You better stop them.
Julie! Billy!
Julie? Oh, Julie. Something I gotta tell you. I couldn't see anything ahead, and Cragen told me how we could get a hold of a lot of money, you see?
Yes?
Tell the baby. If you want to say I had this idea about San Francisco.
Yes?
Julie, hold my hand tight.
I am holding it tight all the time.
Tighter.
He's with God now, ma'am.
Julie, don't be mad at me for saying it. But you're better off this way.
Carrie's right.
Tell me, Julie, am I right? You're right, Carrie. He's better off too, poor feller. Believe me, Julie, he's better off too. Don't cry, Carrie. God be with you, Julie. Sleep, Billy. Sleep. Sleep peaceful. I knew why you hit me. You were quick-tempered and unhappy. I always knew what you were thinking. But you never knew what I was thinking. One thing I never told you, I was scared you'd laugh at me. I'll tell you now. I love you. I love you. I love you. I was always ashamed to say it before, but I said it now, didn't I? What am I gonna do?
Well, you're gonna stay on here with me, so I can be with you when you have the baby. Main thing is to keep on living, to keep on caring about what's gonna happen. Do you remember that sample you gave me? Do you remember what it says?
The words? Sure, we used to say them in school.
Say them now. See if you know what they mean.
When you walk through a storm, keep your chin up high, and don't be afraid of the When you walk through a storm, keep your chin up high, and don't be afraid of the dark. At the end of
Get up, Billy.
Huh?
Get up.
Who are you?
Shake yourself up. Gotta get going.
Going? Where?
Never mind where. Important thing is, you can't stay here.
Julie.
She can't hear you.
And who decided that?
You did. When you decided to kill yourself.
Oh. I see. So, it's over.
It isn't as simple as that. As long as there is one person on earth who remembers what you did, it isn't over.
What are you gonna do to me?
I wasn't gonna do anything. I just came down here to fetch you, to take you on up to the judge.
Judge? Am I gonna go before the Lord God himself?
What have you ever done that you should come before him?
Oh, I see. Just like Cragen said. No Supreme Court for the little people, just police magistrates.
Whoever said anything about
I tell you, if they kick me around up there like they did down on Earth, I'm gonna do something about it. I'm dead now and I got nothing left to lose. I'm gonna fight for my rights, you hear?
Simmer down, Billy. Follow me.
What is this? Who are you?
Never mind who I am, Bigelow.
Where am I?
You're in the backyard of heaven. There's the gates right over there.
The pearly gates?
No. The pearly gates are in front. Those are the back gates. They're just mother of pearly.
Look, I don't want to go in no back gate.
We'll go where we send you, young man.
Now listen here.
Don't yell.
I didn't yell.
Well, don't. This one's finished, Brother Joshua. Please hang it over Salem, Massachusetts. Now, Billy, this is a routine question I gotta ask everyone. Is there anything on Earth you left unfinished? The reason I ask is you're allowed to go back for one day if you want to.
I don't know. I guess as long as I'm here, I won't go back.
Waives his right to go back.
Listen, can I ask you a question? I want to know if the baby will be a boy or a girl.
We'll get to that later.
But I'm just asking one...
Just let me do the asking. You do the answering. I got my orders. Now, you left your wife having that baby coming, with nothing for him to live on. Why'd you do that?
Well, I couldn't get work, and I couldn't bear to see her.
You couldn't bear to see her cry. Why not come right out and say it? Why are you afraid of using the right word? Why are you ashamed you love Julie?
I ain't ashamed of anything.
Why'd you beat her?
I didn't beat her. I wouldn't beat a little thing like that. I hit her.
Why?
Well, you see, we'd argue, and she'd say this, and I'd say that, and she'd be right. So I hit her.
Are you sorry you hit her?
Ain't sorry for anything.
You can be as sot and pernickety as you want. Up here, patience is as endless as time. We can wait. Now look here, son. It's only fair to tell you. You're in a pretty tight corner. Fact is, you haven't done enough good in your life to get in there. Not even through the back door.
Well, if I can't get in, I can't.
I didn't say you can't. Said you ain't done enough good so far. You might still get in if you tried hard enough.
How?
Well, why don't you do what I said you could and go down to Earth for a day? Might do something real fine for someone.
What could I do?
Well, for one thing, you might do your little daughter some good.
Daughter? It's a girl? My baby?
Not a baby anymore. She's 15 years old.
How can that be? I just came from there.
You gotta get used to a new way of telling time, Billy. A year on Earth is just a minute up here. Would you like to look down and see her?
Could I see her from here? Could I?
Sure could. Follow me.
Wait, tell me something. Is she happy?
No, she ain't, Billy. Actually, she's a lot like you, which is why I figure you're the one that could help her the most, if you was there.
Look, if she ain't happy, I don't want to look.
Well, right this minute, she appears to be having a fine time. Yes, sir. There she is running on the beach. Got her shoes and stockings on.
Just like I used to do.
Don't you think you better take a look?
What do I have to do to see her?
Just look and wait. The power to see her will come to you.
Is that her? Little kid with straw-colored hair?
Pretty, ain't she?
My little girl.
father got me this pretty dress.
My father would have bought me a pretty dress too. He was a barker on a carousel.
Your father was a thief.
Why did you make me look?
You said you wanted to.
I know what she's going through.
Something like what you went through when you was a kid, ain't it?
Somebody ought to help her out.
Yep, somebody ought to. You can go down any time. Offer's still open.
All right.
Good luck, Billy.
And so the next day, we all climbed to the top of the Statue of Liberty. Enoch, me, and the 9 kids.
Did you go to any theaters in New York?
Of course we did.
Did you see any of them there extravaganzas?
Enoch took me to one of them things called Madcap Maidens. The curtains went up, and the first thing you saw was 12 hussies with nothing on their legs but tights.
What happened then?
Well, Enoch grabbed a hold of my arm and dragged me right out of the theater. But I went back the next day to a matinee just to see how the story turned out.
All by yourself? Lucky you didn't see anybody you know.
But I did.
Who?
Enoch! There was this one girl who sang an awful catchy song. She put her leg on a fence like this, and she sung. And then it rained all day.
Oh, Louise, would you take this into the kitchen, dear? There's a good girl.
She put her leg on a fence like this, and she sung, I'm a tomboy, just a tomboy. I'm a madcap maiden from Broadway. I'm a tomboy, a merry tomboy. I'm a madcap maiden from Broadway.
Turn your eyes away, Junior.
Hello, Enoch. I was just telling Julie about that show we saw, Madcap Maidens.
We also saw Julius Caesar. Wouldn't that be a better play to quote from?
To tell you the truth, I don't remember much of that one. All the men were dressed in nightgowns, and it made me sleepy.
Won't you sit down and visit with us?
Afraid we haven't time. Mrs. Snow and I have to stop by the minister's house on the way to graduation. And I'll thank you not to sing I'm a tomboy to the minister's wife.
I already did.
Pa, can I stay and talk to Louise?
No.
Just for 5 minutes.
Let him.
All right, 5 minutes, no more.
Bye, Carrie.
See you at the graduation.
Still lollygagging. You'd think a woman with 9 kids would have more sense.
If I had more sense, I wouldn't have had 9 children.
I wish I could go to New York.
What are you gonna do after you graduate, Louise?
Listen, Enoch, can you keep a secret?
Can she see me?
Only if you want her to.
Well, what's the secret?
I'm gonna be an actress. There's a troupe coming through town next week. I met a feller. Says he's the advanced man or something. Says he'll help me.
You mean like run away? I won't let you do it, Louise.
How you'll stop me?
I'll marry you, that's how. The hardest thing will be persuading Papa to let me marry beneath my station.
You needn't bother about marrying beneath your station. I wouldn't have you. And I wouldn't have that stuck-up buzzard for a father-in-law if you gave me $1 million.
You're a fine one to talk about my father. What about your own? A cheap barker on a carousel. And he beat your mother.
You get out of here, you sleepy little lottie-da. I'll kill you. You.
If I want her to see me, she will. Little girl. Louise.
Who are you?
How
do you know my name?
Somebody told me you lived here. I know your father.
My father?
I heard what that little whippersnapper said. It ain't true, any of it.
It is true. All of it.
Did your mother tell you that?
No, but every kid in town knows it. They've been throwing it up at me since I can remember. I wish I was dead.
What did your mother say about him?
Oh, she's told me a lot of fairy stories about how he died in San Francisco, and She's always saying what a handsome feller he was.
Well, he was.
Was he? Really?
Handsomest fellow around.
You really knew him, did you? And he was handsome? What else?
Well, he used to tell funny jokes at the Carousel and make people laugh.
Did he? What else?
Listen, I want to give you something.
Don't come in, mister. My mother wouldn't like it.
Darling, I just want to give you a present.
Don't come any closer. You scare me.
Louise, I want to give you something pretty, something wonderful.
What's that?
A star.
No.
Louise.
Go away.
Darling, please.
Don't call me darling.
Louise!
No! Mother! Mother!
Failure. All you ever do to get out of a difficulty is hit someone you love. Failure.
Where is he?
I don't want her to see me.
Then she won't.
Oh, he's gone. I didn't make it up, Mother. Honest, there was a strange man here and he hit me. Hard. I heard the sound of it, Mother, but it didn't hurt. It was just if he kissed my hand.
Go into the house, child.
What's happened, Mother? Don't you believe me?
Of course I believe you.
Then why don't you tell me why you're acting so funny?
It's nothing, darling.
But is it possible, Mother, for somebody to hit you like that? Real loud and hard and not hurt you at all?
No. If he loved you, he wouldn't hurt you.
I'm sorry. Longing to tell you, but afraid and shy, I let my golden chances pass me by. Now I've lost you. Soon I will go with the mist of day, and you never will know how I loved you. How I loved you. She took the star. She took it. It seems like she knew I was here.
Julie would always know.
She never changes.
No. Julie never changes.
But my little girl, my Louise, I gotta do something for her.
So far, you haven't done much.
I know.
Time's running out.
But it ain't over yet. I want an extension. I gotta see her graduate.
All right, Billy.
Mr. Enoch Snow Jr. Miss Louise Bigelow. And now the most popular, best-loved man in our town, Dr. Selden.
Say, he reminds me of that fella up there on the ladder.
Yes, a lot of these country doctors and ministers remind you of him.
It's the custom at these graduations to pick some old duck like me to preach at the kids. I can't preach to any of you. Know you all too well. Brought most of you into the world. rubbed liniment on your backs, poured castor oil down your throats. I can't tell you any sure way to happiness. All I know is you gotta go out and find it for yourself. And don't lean on the success of your parents. That's their success. And don't be held back by their failures. Doesn't matter what they did or didn't do. Just stand on your own 2 feet.
Listen to him. Believe him.
The world belongs to you as much as to the next fella. Don't give up. And don't be scared of people not liking you. Just you try liking them. Just keep your faith and courage up and you'll turn out all right. It's like what we used to sing every morning when I was in school. Maybe you still sing it. I don't know. When you walk through a storm, keep your chin up high. Know that one? And don't be afraid of the dawn.
Believe him, darling. Believe him.
At the end of the storm is a golden sky and the sweet silver song of the lark. Walk on through the wind, walk on through the rain, though your dreams be tossed and blown.
I loved you, Julie. Know that I loved you.